Okay, everybody, we're finally here. We have made it to the regular season of NACT. So finally, I can give what a bunch of my chat has been asking for every single day the past week, and that is a power ranking of the 8 teams in NACT season. Now, the reason I didn't give this before was because there was so many teams and there were so many variables. It was all best of ones, and I didn't want to give one until we knew exactly what 8 teams were going to be in the season. I did give some predictions, and honestly, you can go back and check the clips. My predictions were on point. I knew at least 2 teams were going to slip through the cracks, and that's exactly what we got. I knew ACKERMAN, BTK, GOSU, and the Ohio brothers were going to make it in. We had strong hopes for Area 77s and WASIANS, and overall, the season is looking about as expected, right? But now with these 8 teams, we have a little bit of taste of how they're all playing, of how they're all doing. Where do they stack up against each other? Now, this is going to eventually end up being probably a multi-part video. We will rank all of these teams now, but then halfway through the season, we are going to readjust. We're going to take another eye and then start predicting on who we think will make it to playoffs. Currently, with where standing, I'm going to do my best at guessing. We're not going to do a, like a Mirko style power rating, exactly like who's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, or an eighth, seventh, and eighth. We're going to do a normal tier list, right? S through D. I probably won't use D tier. Don't even know if I'm going to use C here, but probably down to C, yeah. It's probably going to, I have a feeling it's going to end up being about 2 teams in each tier. And we'll see how it goes. Remember, this is just a personal opinion, guys. I love all 8 of these teams. I love all of the teams in NA. So quick, just a notion. It's just my personal opinion. It could end up being completely wrong. It could end up being completely right. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter that much. In the end, whoever comes out, I will be excited about whoever wins and whoever loses. That is the way of things. Now, we'll start. Why not? We'll start on the right side. We'll start on the right side, right? Or I don't. This is hard. Maybe we'll just close our eyes and whoever we're closest to. Where's my mouse? Okay, I feel bad. We'll start with LAIMI Top. LAIMI Top is a essentially pretty new team. Okay, so LAIMI Top, I hope I'm saying this right, is essentially a pretty new team to the scene. They had a pretty decent run. They did lose out in the upper bracket, and they were one of the teams that won through the lower bracket. Their team players consist of Left, Juan Punch, Reese maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Someone feel free to correct me. I know you will. Assault 1, PDR, and Alpha. They were able to defeat Black Odyssey, which in a lot of people's eyes was a favorite. A lot of people felt like Panda's team, Black Odyssey, was going to make it into the season. It was a really good game. Black Odyssey honestly looked like they had it in the bag, but a big throw during one of the last Lords, and LAIMI Top capitalizes. So there's our first piece. So we know that LAIMI Top does have the skill to maybe turn a game around, and if the other team makes a mistake, they can make a move on it. Here's the problem, though. I don't know if a lot of these teams that they're going up against are going to be making that many mistakes. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for LAIMI Top, and I think by the end of the season, they're going to be a fearsome team, at least to everyone else in NA. But currently, I do have to think that they're kind of on the bottom of the leaderboard here. It's just my personal opinion. I think that they're going to have a few things to work on as we go through this, but I don't think they're going to be a top 2, top 3, top 4 team here. Again, anything can happen. I think about halfway through the season, a lot of these lower tier teams could end up learning a lot and possibly getting up into a higher shelf and maybe booting someone else down to the C spot. But currently, I have to put LAIMI Top in C tier. I hope they prove me wrong, but this is where they're going to sit. After that, we're going to go to Team GOSU. All right. GOSU. Honestly, I feel like this GOSU right now is a very good GOSU. They have Yuzi, Anna, Zero, Guapsi, Stoner, Midnights, Mellow. At least that's who's on their roster. Pretty sure the people who have been playing are Uzi, Guapsi, Anna, Midnights, who is Fleur, and Mellow or Stoner. We haven't seen Zero play. He's more of a sub right now. But I know Uzi and Fleur very well. I know Guapsi very well. Guapsi is playing in the gold lane. At least he has been. But we do know the possibilities are there. A lot of these players have been known to flex around, right? So, depending on what happens, I think GOSU could have some flexibility in their lanes, in what players need to be where. And I think this could end up possibly giving them an edge or possibly giving them some diversity. Do I think they are S tier just yet? No. But I do think they are a team we need to keep our eyes on, and I think currently they sit around the A spot, right? I think that's fair. I think they sit around the A spot. Some of these may move around, but for some reason I just have a feeling GOSU may have a pretty good season this run. Could end up being very, very interesting on how exactly they get through all of this. After that, we have ACKERMAN. And a pretty interesting looking ACKERMAN at that. We still have Zia, we still have Kush, right? But new members coming in, we have Nicolette, who is pretty much the mage for Team Sexy all of last year. Used to always play with best player. Honestly, she is probably one of the best mages in NA, I do have to say. She has some very interesting picks sometimes. She's not just contrived to the strict meta. She can pull out some clutch picks here and there that do win games. And then also, she can play a lot of other things as well. Her Lunox is something to be feared. She can get so aggressive with it in the early game, and it's definitely someone to keep our eyes on in this. Now, you have Rose, Oh My Foe as well, Kush probably in jungle, Zia Gold, Totnak, and Galaxy, right? So overall, a well-rounded team. I like the fact that they have 7 people on the roster, so again, in case anything happens, they can always sub someone in. They are definitely very, very, very prepared for this, and I think they could go a very long way. The question is, I still don't put them in S tier. I think they could be top of A tier, honestly. I think they're going to sit around right here. Very close to S tier. I am going to put them above GOSU. Yeah, I'm going to put them above GOSU. I'm going to say they're above GOSU. We will see how things end up playing out, but I do think that they may end up having the edge here. After that, a lot of people, I think, are wondering about BTK, right? Where do they stand right now? They were a team that got knocked to the lower bracket and ended up winning that way. So does that mean that they're below all the teams that won through the upper bracket? Personally, I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so at all. I think, honestly, this is where I think they belong. S tier. A lot of people are going to go, yeah, good job, Trex. That's an easy one. A lot of people are going to go, you're nuts, Trex. BTK, there's no way they're S tier. They had a... But hold on. I think they had a rough game. It's best of one. Everyone has a rough game. But I think, and that is due to maybe synergy issues, new members on the team, etc., etc. But I think as the season goes on, they're going to meld together. And I still think Yato is a monster and probably one of the best mages in all 8 of these teams. Him and Hoon are the 2 best mages, I think, in all of these 8 teams. Zane, the best jungler in all of these 8 teams. Theo, Yuna played some great games. When they went to the lower bracket, they were just dominating. And I know that a lot of the teams, whatever, blah, 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 but they had a great run through the lower bracket, and I think that is just going to continue. When we get into the season, they are definitely a team that everyone is going to have to watch out for, and I mean everyone. After that, Ohio Brothers. To those that are wondering, none of logos for these 4 teams that I just have the names on haven't been posted yet, or I couldn't find, so that's why we're just writing it. The Ohio Brothers. For those that don't know, this is Hoon, Shark, Basic, Hoon, Shark, Basic. I'm having a total mind blank right now. Hoon, Shark, Basic, Uresi, Best Player. Gina is a sub. This team right here is a powerhouse. This is a team that I think everyone is excited to see. I mean, this is what I think everyone is. A lot of people have hopes that this is going to go to MSC right here. And I think NA is going to be very split down the middle between BTK and Ohio Brothers. And I myself am pretty split down the middle with it. I'm split down the middle for a lot of these teams. But currently, before this season starts, I think Ohio Brothers is the better team. When we get to the split in the season and everybody then gets their rematch in the second half of the season, these could all change. But right now, I'm putting the Ohio Brothers as #1 slot. Right? S tier. S tier, #1 slot. I guess I could have just done 1, 2, 3 because that's what I'm essentially doing anyways right now. Putting Ohio Brothers as #1 slot, right? All right, so next up, we have the Empire. Empire's another semi-new team, right? They're another team that won through the lower bracket. They had a pretty clean run. There are some familiar names on this team like Reckless, Jordan, Alex. Then there's Demon, PW, Evil Replic, Soya, and Liam. So another big roster team, 7 members. I think this is a team we might want to keep our eyes out for. Possible underdogs. Possible team that gets some upset wins throughout the season. I could definitely say that. Now, they lost to GOSU in the upper bracket. They made it all the way to the end of the upper bracket. They weren't a team that dropped out early. No, they lost to the Ohio Brothers. They got all the way to the end, lost to the Ohio Brothers, went down to the lower bracket, ended up winning out against Whiplash. They had they didn't have the easiest bracket, but they also didn't have the hardest bracket. But I do personally have to put them above LAIMI top. I think right now they might even be B tier. I might put them here in B tier. I don't know. There's a lot of questions, right? So I think currently, I want to put them here. We're going to put them in B tier, right? We're going to put them in B tier for now. I think they're a team that could show a lot. Like I said, possibly get some upsets. But we still haven't seen them. We haven't really seen them fully tested yet and up against a few big dogs, right? So we'll see how they play out during the season. After that is the WASIANS. WASIANS, can't wait to see what their logo is. Definitely excited for it. And this team has also some familiar players. It's a team that a lot of us thought could possibly get it. It wasn't in my guaranteed into the season, but it was a possibility. 2 players that I know very, very well is Ashley and Merciless. Ashley playing Mage, another female Mage in our league. So that makes 2 fun fact. We have 2 females playing in this league. Both are Mage players, and both are pretty decent. Personally, I do think Nicolette is the better player. I think she's just a little better expanding her hero pool, and I think that is something that Ashley can slacken here and there when new heroes come out, things like that. Having a little bit of lack in diversity. Hopefully she has expanded that. Hopefully she's fixed that because she's going to definitely need it as we get through this season. Do I think they can pull off some wins? Yes. Do I think they are going to dominate in the first half of this season? No. I think there's a high chance they lose maybe at least half of their games. You know, maybe a third of their games. Who knows? But I definitely don't think they're going to be in a top 4 spot halfway through the season. For this, I'm going to have to put them in B tier. I think they are above Empire. But honestly, this seems like a good spot for both these teams because both these teams have some familiar names. Both of these teams, I feel like, just kind of scale equally. Now, the last team on this list, Area 77. Another fun fact. I used to be a big fan of Area 77. back when we had like N3 qualifiers and the NACT, the very first NACT I ever casted for was in 2023 right now. That was in 2021. It was the very first tournament I ever casted. Dave hosted it in the it was me and Boca Roscoe casting, and it was Area 77 and BTK in the grand finals. BTK wins out, but Area 77 definitely kind of won my heart. They were a lot of people debated them as the second best team in all of North America. They never had any streamers on their team, so they never got as much clout as GOSU or some of the other teams. But those who have been part of this scene for a while and have watched tournaments for a while know who Area 77 is. They have had a few roster changes, but overall they have some very familiar faces. Yato did leave them, moved on to BTK, but they still have Mar Cutie, Gals Cutie, which Gals Cutie is a monster of a roam, and Mar Cutie used to be debated as one of the best gold laners in NA in his prime. It's been a little while since he's played competitively, but I got a feeling we are going to be in for a treat with this team. So the question is where do we place them? Where do we put them on this list? I do think that they are going to be above GOSU. I don't know if they're going to be above ACKERMAN. This, honestly, is hard. These three are tough. Very, 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 very tough. But I think we're going to put Area 77 there right above GOSU. I don't know. You know what? Hot take. Hot take. Oh, it's so hard. Yep. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it could be like this. It could end up 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 like this. Who knows? But my final say is going to be this right here. This right here. This is my final say. So, that is it. If we had to put it in an exact numbered, it would be Ohio Brothers, BTK, ACKERMAN, Area 77, GOSU, WASIANS, the Empire, and LAIMI top. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. Still don't really know, but that is it. You guys asked for it. You got it. Power ranking for NACT. What do you guys think? If you agree, if you disagree, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It would be highly, highly appreciated. So, thank you all. Much love. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next live stream and you can ask me some questions personally about all this.